You said to me that this was the most pointless race of all time, just now. Care to elaborate?
Well, I'll be totally honest at this point. I didn't actually watch the race.
Shock.
But watched the highlights. And usually the F1 highlights usually manage to get 9, 12 minutes. It was 6. 1 minute of which was discussing the Ricciardo penalty. So it was 5 minutes of actual highlights.
I'm surprised they got 5 minutes, actually.
Just dull.
Yeah, did you watch qualifying?
What do you think?
Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't.
I was
watch
surprised
qualifying.
by the qualifying result. I was kind of hopeful that it was a little bit surprising.
You were
McLaren's
hopeful that...
were 4th, 5th, were they?
Yeah.
5th, 6th?
5th and 6th, yeah.
That was quite interesting. Leclerc obviously did well,
Vettel down the order.
which was surprising. Verstappen did alright. Gasly again, very poor.
Oh, Pierre.
So, yeah, elaborate on qualifying if you want.
Yeah, qualifying was actually probably it's worth talking about because we're not actually going to stretch this out to half an hour, are we, if we don't talk about qualifying?
Be tricky.
So qualifying was Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc. You kind of expect that, apart from Vettel. Then Verstappen in 4th, Norris and Sainz 5th and 6th for McLaren. That was their best ququalifying since 2014, I think.
Since Lewis won the
title. Yeah, since 2008. So that was really impressive.
Since 2014. So who?
That was
what year was that?
That was the first year
that Honda?
No, that was the first year that the engine regs changed and they had Mercedes engines, and then they switched to Honda in 2015. Bad move.
Although they switched back now, and who's got the Honda engine at the moment?
Red Bull.
Who are doing
and Toro Rosso
quite well.
Yeah,
Honda
actually quite good engine. Now. Yeah, Honda actually quite good in
so
the speed
McLaren's engine? Mercedes.
Renault.
Renault. Oh, of course it is.
It's not very Renault. Not very good.
No.
So qualifying was quite good. Vettel only 7th. There's a lot of memes coming out. I sent one to you where Vettel was moving the pit board from 1st to 2nd, and they made the first into 7th. Yeah. And then the start of the race, pretty bog standard start of the race. Well, there's a couple of bits.
It was all right.
I mean, the front pack got away well. It's just Sainz was having a go at Verstappen, and then Ricciardo got a good start, but he had to brake way early because it was 4 abreast.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just say if I'm wincing a little bit, it's because the lights.
The light is
incredibly
bright. But it is bright. But look at the lighting over there. We're looking.
You did have 5 pints of cider last night.
Yeah, but you drank too much, so that's your fault. You're hanging a little bit today.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Gasly got up to 8th. He almost passed Vettel. Kubica was in 17th momentarily. He was 17th.
And then
a career high for Kubica in 17th.
Yes.
Tastes a bit funny, that Coke there.
It's better than Diet Coke anyway.
Yeah, well,
Diet Coke.
Do you prefer Coke or Coke? I mean, we have got to stretch this out to half an hour, so do you want to talk about...
My favourite's Pepsi Max.
Pepsi Max is good, but I don't drink it that often.
Coca-Cola's okay. It's very sweet.
You can clean...
Diet Coke's disgusting.
You can clean toilets with regular Coke.
Coke Zero's alright.
Coke Zero is probably the best one.
Diet Coke, because Diet Coke's...
I quite like Diet Coke.
Hideous.
Yeah, so the interesting bit was
not
Perez.
Sponsored by
not
Coke.
sponsors, but if you are watching, Coca-Cola, if you are watching,
that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, as you see, actually, last video we had about 1.5k views.
Should we just have a chat about stuff in general?
I think we could just talk about
crap.
We have got some drawings up there and some artwork up there, but I kind of wish they were over there because you have nothing to look at behind. You've got a Coca-Cola glass and a can. It's not very exciting. Maybe we should put something up here. Maybe I should bring I've got a signed signed Alonso cap, but it's in a Ferrari bag. It's not in those big glass boxes.
What was it? Was it a Renault hat?
No, Ferrari.
Oh, okay.
Ferrari hat. Got it for me years ago, for Christmas. And I wish I had a glass thing. Those glass cube things. I don't know where you get them from. Maybe your dad can point me in the right direction.
Maybe.
That's a conversation for after.
It's not made of paper though, is it?
No. Did you see the Perez incident where he went off completely? Yeah,
and then he went round the bollard,
which he was meant to do.
But then again, if he still made an advantage, arguably it's FIA's fault for not correctly calculating whether it would actually
they should have worked it out on the first lap.
it's
Everyone's
not
bunched
difficult.
up. Obviously, it would be different if it's like 20 laps
True.
in, but at the start, everyone's bunched up. What did you gain, like 2 positions or something?
I don't know, but then surely it's also
Of course you
Perez's
don't know.
responsibility. Surely it's Perez's responsibility to know that he's gained places.
He did know. He gained on like Grosjean and
So
someone
he
else.
should have given them back. But it depends what the nuance of the rule is.
I don't know the exact rule, but they
Exactly.
designed this penalty zone so you go through
Because
it.
it looked like a little track almost. 'Cause
Yeah.
obviously Paul Ricard is like,
It's
just track everywhere.
You know those when you were little, you had this like map on the floor of like a city. And you had like little cars, like roads. You can go around it. That's Paul Ricard because it's so confusing. You got so many different.
Yeah, because they changed the
Variations.
layouts.
They have like a million different
The
variations.
Nürburgring's a little bit like that because
Yeah.
there's so many variations of that as well on the actual GP circuit. Not obviously not the whole thing, but
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think there's like 150 or something, or different variations of track,
no, really,
or more than that even probably.
It's crazy. It's
Albon.
quite iconic.
Yeah,
The blue.
yeah, but it's just confusing. Apparently they're rumble strips as well. The blue like stripes, not just stripes. They're like actual.
They
like,
do slow you down.
so it's like gravel. We'll get onto that conversation we
That
had.
conversation. That'll be the most detailed conversation.
Which we may as well just skip to lap 53. Really, the end of the race. I'm trying.
We'll go a few laps before.
I'm trying to make. I did make as many notes as possible. Like every minuscule detail I noted down whilst painting. The top 3 are in 3 seconds of each other, which I thought was quite exciting. Thought, oh, here we go. Look, that's going to win.
How many laps?
was I? That was about lap 3, 4.
And then Hamilton wins by 20 seconds, doesn't
Yeah. We'll get on to
Just-
Bottas just not turning up.
God.
And Vettel struggled to get past the McLarens, actually. He was stuck behind Norris and Sainz for a while. Normally you'd expect him to sail straight by, but he didn't. I was a little bit shocked at that, considering
But
how...
then if the McLarens were good, what straight line speed was it? Or was it
I don't know.
their chassis was particularly suited
I think
to?
they've just got a good car for that circuit. It's quite a power-hungry circuit. That's why I didn't expect them to be good at all, actually. But on lap 5, Vettel did get past Norris. And then lap 6, Hamilton... You'll like this. Hamilton was told to select a certain gearbox or engine mode and tells his engineer, Pete Bonington, make a decision and stick with it. He was quite snappy on the radio. He's always quite snappy on the radio when the pressure's on. And if Johnny was here, he would say, "Oh well, he's just world champion."
But
who cares?"
again, like, I'm gonna a little moan again at the sport, which the fans that we're gonna be watching won't like. But it's just, what am I trying to say?
You're hanging. The fans.
No. So
The
the
FIA?
engineers intervening, that's the word, intervening, I couldn't think of the word, intervening with the drivers.
Do you not like that?
Oh, it's too much. Shouldn't be allowed to speak to him. All it should be is, because there's too many engine modes and faffing about. No, fuck off, just race. Tell them when they need to come into pit, and that's all that should be allowed. No orders, team orders, sod that, that's ridiculous, I hate that rule. You can't have team orders because it just ruins racing. Another reason to ruin racing. Engine modes, gearbox modes, suspension modes, all this stuff. Get rid of that.
Keep it going. We've got to stretch it out to half an hour here.
Because it just doesn't make it racing. It makes it... And obviously the engineering is very important because it's the pinnacle of motorsport engineering. But it's just not racing anymore. It's all strategy. And I hate it.
You do realise that they did have a radio ban for like
did on
6
team orders.
races. Or they had a radio ban, complete
Oh, did
radio
they?
ban in like 20.
Do you know
That's like 2014,
Did it
15. The thing is, it probably worked, but I think it was 2015
because of course if all the teams say they don't like it, then they'll just get rid of it.
because it was terrible. Because when you're halfway through the race and it was, let's say 2015, where it was unbelievably boring, to quote you, unbelievably dull, I think you said, which it was. It'd just be nothing. The commentators can't say anything. You'd at least hear a bit of Raikkonen or
But that's
Alonso.
sad. That's sad in itself, isn't it? Really.
And there was
That
nothing.
to make it interesting, they actually need something that
Isn't racing.
organically will make it less interesting.
Yeah. They I think it was like Silverstone 2014 2016, where when the radio ban was in place, and Rosberg had a problem with his engine, and Hamilton won, and he was trying to hunt down Hamilton, and he had a bad engine issue, and they weren't allowed to speak on the radio at all, yet he was being...
They could have potentially fixed it.
They did fix it. He was on the radio, and they were telling him, like, select this mode, whatever, and he got a penalty, I think, after. And that was when they scrapped it, because it was just utterly pointless. A radio ban doesn't solve anything; it just makes it worse. Because they are so complex, you need someone with a book and a screen to tell you what's happening. Team radio. I
bring back 8 shifters, is what I say.
8 shifters, H pattern gearbox. Lap 7, Vettel does pass Sainz. He's going after Verstappen, and then Perez does get on lap 9. Perez gets his 5-second penalty, even though he abides by the stewards to go through the penalty zone.
Yeah.
Is that a blunder by the FIA? 2 races in a row?
Well, as I said, they should have worked out that it wasn't going to...
That is a blunder then.
Giving them an advantage. So it's their problem. But if they said I don't know if the rule is you go around the penalty box, but if you're ahead of cars,
let them pass.
Then you have to let them pass. But
how do you judge?
Be the rule anyway.
But how do you judge if you're in Perez's shoes? You've gone through the penalty zone. You've done what you're told. How do you judge who you've passed?
If you've done what you've been told, then fair enough. But if they do say also give back the pace, I don't know.
It didn't change much of the result. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but again, I don't know. Penalties.
You're a raging.
It's like the World Cup. It's too many penalties.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
The Women's World Cup?
Well, both. I don't really.
Have you been watching the Women's World Cup?
Not really.
I didn't watch the England game yesterday.
No, 3-0.
That's what they won.
3-0.
That got quite feisty apparently.
Did it?
Yeah, apparently there was like spitting and red cards and stamping and stuff.
Yeah, that was a bit questionable.
Whether
it was on purpose. I saw a highlight. But
get it on Twitter.
I just don't like penalties.
What do you let us know in the comments, because we are going to get a decent amount of views hopefully. Welcome if you are a new subscriber. God knows why you've subscribed.
Because of me.
Well, yeah, it must be you.
I just think that guy knows what he's talking about.
We've gained like 10 subscribers since your first appearance, so
and about 1,500 views.
Yeah, but that might be something to do with the paid promotion that Johnny did on Instagram.
Yeah, or it's me.
Or it's you.
Thank you.
I think it's the former. And then lap 14, Hamilton's reports seat issues.
What does that even mean?
He said like something was wrong with his seat; it was moving. That's quite bad.
Someone didn't screw it.
Yeah, Dave has not screwed it in. Basically, that's quite bad, isn't it? Because you've been go-karting, haven't you? You've definitely been go-karting. Yeah. Meant to be going go-karting tonight actually with Nathan. Yeah, it's Nathan's birthday.
You should get Wathan Nade on the old pod.
I wanted to get Wathan Nade on the podcast, and he will definitely be listening / watching as you get.
When you got this far. Normally, the first 5 minutes and say, "Yeah, I did watch it."
Normally, he does listen to the whole thing.
Blimey, fair play. I think he might be anyone left. If you are, hello, well done.
I've watched the audience retention, and it literally goes up for the first 2 minutes, and then about 2 minutes in, it just plummets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Is it your boring voice? Because normally about 2 minutes you start piping up. So
start moaning.
So I'll have to look when you start speaking. Does the audio just go, "Oh bloody hell," and just clicks off?
Yeah.
That remains to be seen. And then lap 16, I sent this to Nathan, I'm not sure if I sent it to you. Kvyat, beautiful pass around the outside after the Mistral straight on Magnussen for 15th.
I think I saw
really good overtake. Like the commentator was like, yeah, and Kvyat's got past. That was a sexy
when he went
pass.
Round the outside of him and then they break into the left hand?
No.
Okay.
It was the back straight after the chicane on the straight. The right corner, I can't remember the name, but it is what straight is it? Mistral straight, and it turns right and then it goes round and then it goes. That's the last sector, but it was around the outside there. That was a really good overtake. No one likes Kevin Magnussen.
What about sectors?
You're gonna start boring me.
Stroll, middle sector, absolute geezer.
Yeah, well, I sent that to you, didn't I?
You did.
What qualifying session was that? Probably Q1. Oh, no, was that in the race or practice?
No, it was either practice or qualifying. Wasn't the race.
Yeah, Stroll wouldn't have been quick enough. Stroll got the purple middle sector, which I was shocked at. Well, just straights, so it's not really a...
What's the racing Force India? I was going to call Force India. What's their engine? Mercedes,
yeah. There you go. Well, there you go.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, no one likes Kevin Magnussen. What are your thoughts on Kevin Magnussen, Danish?
Not very good.
You don't think he's very good?
Well,
He got a podium on his debut for McLaren.
True. It was
When
he
McLaren
was
were
getting
half decent.
slagged off by his team earlier last weekend. When
2
weekends ago.
He was piping up on the radio. Wasn't very happy last week, was he?
No.
He's just a bit of a dirty driver. Everyone hates him. Alonso hates... Magnussen... Apparently Alonso laughed in Magnussen's face when he crashed or something. And Magnussen said, I can't wait for you to retire. So, there's not a lot of love lost there. And then I think like lap 18, 19, there was the strategies which you hate started coming into play. So Gasly pits to recover Ricciardo because Ricciardo pitted the lap before. Gasly had a bit of a poor weekend. He came home outside of the points. Can't remember if he got bumped up a place by the Ricciardo penalty. I'm not sure.
I think he may have
finished 10th.
Finished 11th. Finished 10th.
Yeah, he finished 11th.
Yeah.
And then post
Has he had a good weekend this year? Really?
No.
Again, we bring back. Should they have got rid of Kvyat quite so quickly?
No. Then Verstappen wouldn't be in Red Bull now. Ricciardo probably still be at Red Bull.
True.
Because it was Ricciardo.
Because Kvyat's had a couple of good weekends.
He hasn't had. I think in the power rankings on the F1 website, he's number 2 to Verstappen.
Do you think Kvyat will be in
doing the off switcheroo?
Yeah.
I think they need to give Gasly to at least Spa, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm not suggesting it'll be this season.
After
next
this season,
season,
if he has a bad second half of the season, he's gone. Or he might even switch, like Singapore or something. They might just switch.
Really? Right, okay, yeah.
Because they did that with Kvyat, I think, in Spain. They waited
really
5 races,
early.
yeah. Because
really harsh.
A classic torpedo moment on Vettel. They did the switcheroo then, but I don't know. I want Gasly to do well. You know, me and Gasly. Met Gasly before.
You met him, didn't you?
Great guy.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. I really think he needs to be given time. However,
He might be a nice guy, but he's...
How long do you wait?
Naff.
How long do you wait? Get Alonso in the car. Last half of the season, he'll give Verstappen a run.
He's taking part in much more interesting racing in
Or
America.
Indy 500. Didn't even qualify.
Enjoyable than this.
Well, McLaren didn't even qualify for Indy 500.
McLaren.
Exactly. McLaren are just a meme now. Yeah, and then Ricciardo actually passes Gasly. Like, no strategies came into it. It was just straight pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you seen Drive to Survive, the F1 documentary?
No.
On Netflix?
No.
Have you got Netflix?
Yep.
You need to watch it. There's a lot of beef.
I watched like 20 minutes and it was so dramatic. It was like the Sunderland documentary. I tried to watch that. And it explains all the rules and it's so dramatic and it's like, it was about like Hamilton winning qualifying. Well, duh.
There was a lot
If you've ever heard of F1, you'll know that Hamilton wins qualifying every single time.
Did you so you've not watched more than 20 minutes?
No.
You need to watch like the fifth,
I watched
the 5th episode. If you're going to watch one, watch that, because that's when Ricciardo switches to Renault, and there's a moment where Christian Horner and Cyril Abiteboul, the Renault head boss, they have to go to a press conference together, and it's like the day after the news breaks, and then when Red Bull announced they're switching to Honda, they literally stand next to each other and don't say a word. And then like Cyril's like smiling and Christian's so pissed off. It was ridiculous.
Why did Ricciardo? It seems a very backwards move. Very
2021,
backwards.
like Johnny always says, 2021 Ricciardo is going to be world champion or fighting for a title.
Renault?
Yeah, when the engine regs change in 2021.
Really?
I think he's done what Hamilton did when he left McLaren. Everyone said
went to Mercedes.
That is the most ridiculous thing. Mercedes are the 5th best team. Yeah. And now he's 5-time world champion, probably going to be 6th. I think it'll come good. Don't you think it'll come good?
Well, they're a big manufacturer, and so maybe. But it took Honda 5 years, didn't it?
I mean, Honda are still going. I think Honda aren't actually there yet. No. Yeah. So where are we? Lap 21. This is just bore fest at this point. Not gonna lie. I try to defend F1 as much as possible, but I just carried on painting at this point. I was like, you know what, it's just Mercedes.
It's more interesting than...
I was actually watching paint dry.
Watching paint dry was more interesting than focusing on the Formula 1.
Was actually.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, we can use that as a little
what did you send me?
teaser.
You sent me a clip. Was it GT? Formula G? Not Formula GT.
Formula GT.
It
was like
racing. Was it Le
I
Mans?
can't remember.
GT3.
It was like
style,
GT4 or GT3 or something.
Yeah.
That was very
Block
good
pad
racing.
type thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That was good because there was a back marker. There was like a guy, the lead, battle for the lead, I think. And there was a guy in front, and a guy behind, and the guy behind
But like you
passed
said,
him.
in an F1,
The back marker was there.
the leader would have got fucking DRS
Yeah,
off the back marker. What's that all about?
I literally sent you a message saying the leader would have got
God's
DRS.
sake. And it's why should when they get DRS off back markers? Yes, they might get in the way, but Christ Almighty, would it actually give us something to get excited about?
What, them just bringing out the blue flag and just waving it?
Oh, blue flags. Get rid of blue flags. Sod that.
See,
Well, not
Crofty...
even, no, okay, keep blue flags, obviously. Obviously, you need to do that. But DRS off back markers, it's ridiculous.
I don't agree with that.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Although in F1 career mode it is quite handy. Because if you're, got bad tyres and Williams just pitted and you're stuck behind Kubica. So F1 game comes out this week, actually. Looking
It
forward
does
to
look
playing
amazing.
that.
Do a little review.
I might do, actually. It's 45 quid, though.
Have you got a
It's quite a lot.
capture card?
Don't need one on PS4.
I'm just chatting to you now.
We are
It's
just
a
chatting.
conversation.
Well, we're not talking about F1 anymore.
Mhm.
Any plans?
Do we have to talk about this? Can we just skip to...
So what was the point we were just going to talk about? Let's just skip all of that strategy crap.
It's
because
so boring.
nothing happened between lap 16 and lap 28. Okay, this is where it gets spicy. Lap 28, Grosjean complains, brackets, again, saying Ricciardo does an unsafe re-entry. Did you see that?
Yeah, that wasn't unsafe.
That was just Grosjean being
That wasn't
Grosjean.
unsafe.
Grosjean is the moaniest driver on the grid. I'm
It wasn't
sorry.
unsafe, but it was the start of what Ricciardo continued to do.
So you're saying that moment has defined the whole race weekend?
No.
So
No,
what are you
no.
saying?
Nothing defined the whole race weekend. It was
Hamilton's
it
pole
was-
position defined the race weekend.
Precisely. No, I'm just saying that Ricciardo probably was just a bit like me, bored of being bored, and decided to sort of go for it and use a bit too much of the track.
Speaking of which, have you seen the Instagram comments from Kimi Räikkönen and Ricciardo?
No.
There's quite a lot of comments last night. F1 put out a post saying there's breaking news. Ricciardo's got 2 penalties,
Mm-hmm.
and Ricciardo was like, "Oh, I thought I'd try. It was too boring anyway." Or
Oh, he
something
said
like that.
someone's got to make
yeah.
it interesting.
Yeah,
or
someone's
something,
got to make it interesting. Yeah, I thought that was quite funny.
Mm. What did Raikkonen
Kimi
say?
replied to Lando Norris. Lando Norris, they put a picture up. I think it was Sauber. They put a picture up of Giovinazzi and Raikkonen sitting on like a mini car or something, and he was like, "Oh, it looks like Kimi's driving a mini car," and he got like 2,000 likes. And Kimi replied yesterday saying, "Yeah, I thought the same about you yesterday." And everyone was like, "Oh." Yeah, classic Kimi. So let's skip all the strategy bollocks because literally nothing happened. Where are we? Lap 35. Hamilton complains about tyres with a 12-second advantage to
What is-
Bottas.
Because again, right, another little moan. So, when you've got a team that is so dominant, and then your second driver is clearly not as good as Hamilton, because Hamilton's a very, very good driver.
Even though you hate his guts.
I don't hate him, I just think he's a bit of a prat sometimes. And he talks with an American accent. You're from fucking Stevenage and you talk with an American accent. Get a life. Anyway.
This is true. Johnny's going to be raging at that comment.
God.
Johnny's going to be
Drives me
raging at you.
mental.
What do you say to Hamilton fans out there saying he does his own thing?
Does his own thing. Yeah, it's easy to do your own thing when you've got 200 million to bank.
Although,
And his haircut.
can-
God, I'd
can
love
I-
to go at him with a shaver.
can I just
Get that shit gone.
can I just back you up? He was at Fashion Week in
Of course
Paris.
he was.
Did you
Of
see?
course
He
was.
missed out. You missed out on Thursday's media. Only driver not to turn up.
No, because he was poncing around a fashion week, was he?
Toto
Going up and down.
excused him. I'm not going to take sides, but Toto excused him, and yeah,
Embarrassing.
he
'Cause
turned
he
up.
was
People was
keeping his image.
yeah, but people were saying, "Oh yeah, he's such a twat. He's going swanning off, not even doing his job
Just
properly."
getting clothing.
He
record.
turns up on Friday morning and goes like 6/10 clear of Bottas. So he doesn't even need to turn up.
Yeah, I know.
He could just turn up, hop in, and put a lap in.
So anyway, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted.
Sorry, I just thought I was just trying to back you up.
Yeah, no, like, when you've got Bottas who's not nowhere near as good, plus the fact that of course when you've got a driver who is better, the team are going to put more energy into that driver. Happens all the time. Happened at Ferrari for years and years and years.
Alonso.
Yeah, it happened at Red Bull with Vettel.
Vettel.
It happens all the time. So
Schumacher.
obviously it's going to happen, but it's going to again increase the disparity between Hamilton and everyone else.
I can also apply that to Red Bull. because Verstappen is clearly
Very true.
the first driver. Like even when
Verstappen
Ricciardo was there, he was first choice. It is Team Verstappen.
He's a ridiculously talented driver. He is.
He's probably the best driver in F1 at the moment. Him and Hamilton.
Fierce. And still think Vettel.
Top three.
Fantastic driver.
Too many mistakes. He's probably the fifth best driver on the grid, in my opinion, or probably fourth.
So
Hamilton, Verstappen.
Leclerc.
No, Hamilton, Verstappen. I really want to say Ricciardo. I really want to say
he's a very
Ricciardo.
good driver.
I want to say Hamilton, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Vettel.
Just look at the Top Gear.
Oh yeah, the Top Gear. But who was fastest? Hamilton.
I think it may have
Was
been,
it Rubens Barrichello?
No.
It was like 2010. I remember Rubens Barrichello set it up.
Yeah, because he was one of the first ones.
He was beaten, wasn't he, Hamilton, by somebody? Was it Vettel?
Was it Ricciardo?
It was Ricciardo, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Because Button was top for a while.
Yeah.
And then he got beaten by Vettel, and then Hamilton beat Vettel, and then I think Ricciardo beat.
Yeah, Ricciardo. I remember because he did like a massive celebration. Oh, someone asked him. They opened up the floor to questions, and some guy was like, "What does the back of Lewis's car look like?" And he was just like, so I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah.
Lap 44. #44. #blessed. Lap 44.
#blessed.
Hashtag best fans. Ferrari get on the radio to Vettel saying Plan F. Thoughts? Plan F? What difference does it make? That basically is we're just going to pit and put a new set of boots on and go for fastest lap 9 laps before the end, basically. You've lost all hope. You're in 5th place. You're 90 seconds.
Maybe that's why Vettel didn't have a very good weekend, because he was had to remember all these different plans. He couldn't remember the track layout.
Plan Z is
he couldn't remember. He couldn't remember the circuit layout. So he didn't have a very good.
Maybe that
qualifying.
explains Perez. Perez was trying to thinking too much about tacos.
And then 45. I've seen this. This was a highlight.
Oh yeah, this is a big bit. This is the exciting bit of the race. The last 10 laps are actually quite spicy. Norris hydraulic issue, no DRS, harsh upshifts, dodgy throttle, heavy steering, and a 2.2 gap to Ricciardo.
Because he said, they said to him, you can't use DRS, and he said, well, it's broken or I'm not allowed. And they said, you're not allowed. So they're obviously having hydraulic pressure issues.
If he opened it, you couldn't close it then, basically.
Or it would take too much pressure away from other important things like power steering.
I think he lost power steering
maybe
completely.
a leak or something.
Yeah. And the hydraulics it's not a problem that's going to get better.
You can't just solve hydraulic
if you start losing pressure.
Mechanical, isn't it? It's purely mechanical. You can't solve that.
Whoa, F1 pinnacle motorsport.
Well, yeah,
not going to pipe up saying that. Oh no, you're an engineering student. You're going to bore me to death. So he had a 2.7 gap to Ricciardo, and then Raikkonen and Hulkenberg, who were having a right ding dong the whole race. They were a right ding dong battle. They come right up the back to Ricciardo. They were nose to tail all race actually. Lap 51, there was a bollard on the track. There was a virtual safety car, so everyone has to do the same delta lap.
Another thing I can't. Virtual safety car. What is that?
Do you know what the point in that is?
Well,
would you like me to tell you?
It means they can go at a faster speed than the safety car.
Yeah, and also
and still regulates
when Jules Bianchi died, if they would have had the virtual safety car, he wouldn't have died because he was pushing way too hard on because the safety car came out.
So he was
and he was trying to catch up to the pack,
right,
went too fast, and everyone knows what happened.
Well, it was. Yeah.
Suzuka, but everyone knows what happened then. So that he has to follow us at the same delta time basically as everyone else, and then he'll catch up eventually, which is the whole point. I kind of like it, and it brings into play like if someone pits under virtual safety car, that's much quicker than pitting at full speed. Because if the leader stays out and you're second and you pit, he's got to do virtual safety car speed, whereas you can gain about 8 seconds in the pit stops.
I suppose my problem with it again is that when you get a safety car, it bunches it up. And when it bunches up, you've got more chance of an interesting...
True.
Although something else that I think, what's your thoughts on this? Because when you get the safety car, the leader will back off and then floor it at any moment they choose. What if you couldn't do that and there was just a certain line at which you could then go for it?
I think
it would even it up and it would make... Surely you'd get more racing.
I think when the safety car comes in, the lead car is the safety car then, basically.
Well, yeah.
And there is a white line, like just before the last
they
corner,
can
overtake. But I think they go before that white line just to get an advantage.
Exactly.
Because I think Schumacher did a few years ago when he was racing, like 2010 or something. He overtook someone before the white line at Monaco. And he got a penalty.
Because again,
penalties.
Yeah, and the leader will just fly off, and then they get a 2-second gap because, or maybe not 2 seconds, but over a second gap because the reaction time. Because
you can't tell, yeah.
No. So I don't know. I was just thinking of ways to try and give it a bit of.
Shall we talk penalties? Ricciardo got 2 times 5 second penalties. Basically, it got spicy because he went on the last lap. He went around the outside of Norris, went a bit too deep, rejoined the track, and Norris had to go, or Norris chose to go wide.
No, he didn't choose to go wide.
Norris went wide and lost 3 positions.
Because Ricciardo came on and he had to turn it. They had crashed.
It was a left-hand corner. He's got to turn at some point. He could have just gone straight on, but
it's a penalty.
That was a 5 second penalty, and then straight after that onto the Mistral, straight after the chicane.
He just
Ricardo Raikkonen was sat in the middle of the road, well, on the right hand side as it was. Hulkenberg's on the left. Ricardo gets in the slipstream, and Norris is way behind. Ricardo gets in the slipstream, sat on the outside.
Goes off the track.
Gets the position, finishes 7th, I believe, 7th or 8th. 7th, I think. Then he gets 2 5 second penalties to 10 seconds, drops him down out of the points, and then raged, or said he was holding in a rant on Twitter about racing. This begs the question, what is the point in even trying if you know you're going to get a penalty? What's the point? It's a procession. Is this what F1 is now?
Yeah, of course it is.
Formula penalty?
Formula procession.
Formula procession.
It's been like it for 5 years. The last time it was interesting was when Red Bull were dominant, but at least Webber and Vettel, at least there was some competition.
Ding dong.
Since then.
Although 2016, that was good to see.
Yeah, with Rosberg and Hamilton.
And then when he left, it was just dead.
Yeah.
He should have stayed.
But even 2015.
That was the worst year.
Nowhere near
Hamilton. That was the worst year in F1 history. I'm sorry. That is shocking. Sort it out. I know it's in the past, but still.
Has it been much better this year?
This year's been bad. Last year was exciting. Last year and 2017 were good years for F1. This year's been shocking.
Yeah, well, okay. They were good years for F1 in comparison to previous years.
Yeah, but then you look
in comparison to like 07, 08, 09,
okay, they were
10,
insane
11,
years. 12, 13. That was a good year.
Those years when I watched every race. Because it was on TV still, so you could watch it. Whereas now you've got to spend 1,800 quid every year.
1,800 quid. You buy a car for that.
Whatever. Anyway, so I don't know. It's just gone down the drain. I feel like now it's just a huge commercial money-making machine in the Far East and the Middle East.
Maybe we could do a podcast
like
together.
Baku, rubbish.
Yeah, there's no direct flights to Baku as well.
Abu Dhabi, rubbish. Where else?
Brazil should be the final race. I think we all agree on that.
It's a great track.
Although they're scrapping that now for Rio, which is BS.
Rio?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, the country that's in so much poverty are spending about $30 million or whatever the fuck
which
they
obviously
use.
You think kind of makes sense because it'll bring in it. They'll probably make the money back, but even so,
just increase the gap in class. I think we've actually we've got to that 33 minutes. I don't know.
Have we?
Is there anything else you want to say? It's Austria next. That is a good track. That's a really good track. Verstappen won there last year. Both Mercedes retired there.
Do they still go to Hungary?
Yes.
That was always quite a good track.
Yeah, not much overtaking there.
No,
it's quite narrow. It's where are we? Red Bull Ring next. Verstappen won there last year. Double DNF for Mercedes last year. So it's going to be a 1-2 for Mercedes, surely.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's just sad.
Sad. Let us know what you think to the race in the comments.
Sad.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, etc. Maybe you'll do another one. I'm not sure how long this is going to last because Johnny's not in Wembley now. He's somewhere else down south. It's about 4 hours from here, and you're 5 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Might watch the next one. Silverstone soon. I want to go, but it's about 300 quid.
Yeah. And
you're not here for that either.
No, so I can't do the podcast.
Well, we could do the podcast from Canada. I'll come out.
Get a little Skype call going.
Yeah. Well, we could do something. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've made it to this point, wow, fair play.
We're talking to no one again.
It's Nathan's probably watching, so happy birthday, Nathan. Going to destroy your go-kart in about an hour, 2 hours. You should come eventually at some point.
Not when I feel like this. It's probably
not when you're not hungover.
Probably not safe.
Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Follow us on Instagram. The conversation continues over there. Thank you for watching.